Anyways, back to apples, right? Now, granted, part of that could just be every Pokemon's got a type or two, and every type has strong points and weak ones. Part of that could just be that, you know, a lot of my memories from, like, elementary school age would have been during less than ideal economic times, and those happen to also be, I think, the cheapest types of apples, typically. A Sizzlipede. Wow. But anyways, the reason I was bringing this up is, as a child, whenever you, on the instances you'd get something like a Fuji apple or whatever, it was just, like, straight up better than those other types. In particular, as a child, I remember, wasn't a fan of the Granny Smiths. Kind of just annoying and sour, in my opinion. And I think that's a common opinion, right? I mean, why I get the weird, tart, sour Granny Smith when you can just get, like, something like an Ambrosia apple, which I think is a real thing. And it's just, like, tastes like heaven on earth or what have you. But anyways, the other day I was at the store and I saw they had apples, and I was gonna buy some, and then I was like, hey, you know what? Granny Smiths are cheap, and I'm cheap, so I'll buy some Granny Smith apples. How about that? I brought them home, and oh my goodness, I was sleeping on these things. Like the tartness, the sour, it's just like the right sort of thing. It's like, I mean, I might actually even like them just better than your, like, Fuji's or whatever. It's just a more sort of complex flavor. They're great, actually, as it turns out. Like what, you know, child me did not know what he was talking about at all. Apparently. Anyway, so that's why I'm telling you, if you are an adult, especially a young adult, that is still clinging to your childhood pickiness, get over yourself and try the foods, okay? Like, I'm not saying you will like the new foods, but what I am saying is, as an adult, you are very, very likely to enjoy a much larger variety of foods to a much greater extent than you did as a child. Hiya, me and my little sister have set ourselves up as a pop-up Pokemon Center service. Oh, thanks. Not to be asked anyone if we could or should, so you're practicing medicine without a license. You know what? I'm cool with it. Stick it to the map. Galar is pretty rough on a team, isn't it? I'll heal up your Pokemon for you, friend. Come talk to you anytime you think your team needs a bit of care. Anyways, that then gets us down to our talk of, like, pickiness in general. And I was thinking, because it is true that different people have different sort of just instinctual, like, gut level reactions to different foods, right? You know, like, the difference between someone who loves mushrooms and someone who hates mushrooms is not that the person who hates mushrooms, or it's not that the person who loves mushrooms is just putting on a front and pretending to, and just, like, grinning and bearing it and pretending to like the mushrooms. You know, there are people who legitimately dislike mushrooms, people who legitimately like mushrooms. So the question I was thinking of, though, is pickiness... Hold on a second. My work partner and I are in perfect sync, even in battle. Who? Worker Keith? Okay. The question I was thinking of, though, is pickiness about outcomes or about outlook? And what I mean by that is... Alright, let's suppose you have two people, right? One person, one of those two people, dislikes, we'll say, 5% of foods. Like, there are 5% of food in the world, or at least that this person has experienced, that they have a negative reaction to, right? They taste buds just say they do not like this. It is actively bad to them. Okay? Not just, man, that's a bit bland, whatever, but like, this is disgusting. I don't like it. Okay? So you got one person that 5% of foods, it's like that for them. And they just straight up will not eat anything that they have such a reaction to, right? 5% of foods they don't like, they don't eat foods they don't like. Okay? Are they more picky or less picky than someone who has the I don't like this is disgusting reaction to 20% of foods, but half of those foods they're willing to put up with and eat nonetheless? Who is more picky? Is it the person who will in no circumstance push through their dislike of a food, but just so happens to actually legitimately like 95% of foods? Or is it the person who dislikes a greater quantity of foods, but is willing to put up with at least some of the foods they don't like? In order to do good work, I can't slack off on training. And I guess it depends a lot on your outlook, right? Oh, I'm fighting against Worker Georgia. Nice. What? I legitimately have never seen that Pokemon before in my life. And I think you could go both ways in this argument, right? You know, there's sort of the consequentialist view of like, well, what matters when determining if someone's a picky eater or not is the results of their actions, right? So the results of the person who dislikes 20% of foods but will eat half of the things they don't like is that 10% of foods they are not unwilling to eat. Whereas a person who dislikes 5% but won't eat anything they don't like, the result of their actions is there's only 5% of foods they will not eat. Therefore, the person who will not eat 5% of foods is more picky. Or no, is less picky than the person who will eat only 10% of the food. But I think there's something to be said about the idea of maybe pickiness is more like bravery, right? It's, you know, there's the old saying that bravery is not the absence of fear, it is pushing through your fear, right? So the question is pickiness the absence of disliking food, or is pickiness having the resolve and self-discipline to eat food you don't like regardless? If we say it's the former, that pickiness is just about... Pickiness is just when you are willing to eat a food, or when pickiness is just the act of being unwilling to eat a food, then the person who naturally likes more food is, in a sense, less picky. But I think there is the argument to be made that really we should be looking at kind of your own sort of efforts, right? That at least in a certain respect, I respect the person who is willing to eat, you know, half of the foods that they find disgusting, even if they find 20% of food disgusting, than I am the person who, you know, likes 95% of food, but if there's anything they don't like, they won't touch it. I don't know, I think that's an interesting debate. Now, granted, this is all, of course, coming from the perspective that it's inherently a bad thing to be picky, and there's arguments to be made of, like, you know, it's okay that you know what you like and you're not going to put up with anything else. And I think there are different degrees, right? I think... Right, so, for example, there's different levels of pickiness. Or no, I think degrees is the term I like here, right? Because it's more like a matter of degrees. I think, and maybe this can help us answer our prior question. I think at the top of the pickiness, or at the one extreme of the pickiness hierarchy, where you're the least picky, I think is arguably just something that you like and will eat, right? I think down a level is the idea of, are there foods that you don't really like, you don't enjoy, you would never seek out, but if you're presented with them, you'll eat them, right? So like, as an example, what is an example of that? I guess usually for me, mushrooms would fall into that category, right? And they're okay. I'm not offended by them. Typically, I don't go out and like buy a bunch of mushrooms to like put in a dish. But if they're there, I don't mind, right? They just don't really do much for me one way or the other. Right, so I think that's a level of pickiness of, I would never go out and try to choose this intentionally. But I'm not offended if it is there in food that I'm eating. Working women are good at Pokemon battles too. And then I think the next level is you got foods that you actively try to avoid. You challenge by Worker Sandra, which could just sound like the same category as previously. But I think there's a distinction, right? There's a distinction between I don't seek this out versus I specifically try to avoid this. I think, anyway. At least it's in a matter of degree, if not a matter in kind. Right, and the way I might even think about it is, so say you're at a buffet, right? The person who will not seek out a certain food will just be like, or how to put this? Because I do think there's a difference. It's just kind of hard to really communicate what the difference is. Your Pokemon, I want to scout them. No, they're my Pokemon. You can't do that. I think the difference here is, I was looking around for items, but I found a trainer. Great. Say you're in a group ordering pizza, right? You're challenged by Worker Russell. The person who just doesn't seek out a food. Let's say the food in this case is mushrooms again, because why not? Okay. If you're in category 1 of just you don't seek out a food, you don't think to even order mushrooms on your pizza. Okay. I'd say the person who then is actively avoiding the mushrooms would be the person that might say, "Oh, can we get it half and half on the pizza?" Right? I'd like to think they're the sort of person that. Oh, hold on a second. Whoa. I need to actually pay attention for a second. Tearful look. The user gets teary-eyed to make the target lose its combative spirit. This lowers the target attack and special attack, which is just straight up better than Growl. So we will replace Growl. And most of these status effect things are probably going to get forgotten at some point anyway. Generally, they're not very useful, I find, but whatever. Oh, heavy-duty boots. These boots prevent the effects of traps set on the battlefield. I guess that's something you equip to a Pokemon? There, Eevee gets boots. Nice. So I guess what I'll say is the mushroom person, I think, wouldn't order the mushrooms themselves, but if someone else in the group said, "Hey, can we get mushrooms on the pizza?" would say, sure, I guess if that makes you happy, go for it. Whereas the I'm trying to avoid mushrooms person would try to, if there was reasonable accommodations to avoid the mushrooms, would get them, right? So this is the sort of person who, again, if we're ordering pizza as a group, someone suggests mushrooms, this person would then say, "Oh, mushrooms, I don't really like those. Can we get them only on half of the pizza?" Right, I think But I don't think there's the sort of person where, say, the pizza's already ordered and there's mushrooms on it already. They're not the sort of person who would deny eating the pizza altogether because there are mushrooms there, I'd say. That's the degree I'm talking about, right? If there's reasonable accommodations, they'll take them. But if the ship has already sailed, as it were, they'll deal with it. Coming this way, I'd advise against it. Any trainer with a wishing star is in for a beating from me and my Pokemon. Yeah, unlikely, buddy. You're the gym challenger endorsed by the champion, aren't you? What a joke. You are aware that the chairman is more important than the champion, right? I was chosen by the chairman himself, so that makes me more amazing than you. I believe our performance in battle would be the determining factor there. I suppose I should prove beyond doubt just how pathetic you are and how strong I am. Oh, he's got a great ball. He challenged my Pokemon trainer, Bidet. Or Bead? I don't know. Oh, Solosis. We'll start off with the Water Pulse. Not sure what type this Pokemon is. You're gonna have to do better than that. Who knows, maybe you won't even get an attack off. I'm just giving your Pokemon a little chance to shine, that's all. Okay, what else you got? A Gothita. I think we could switch to Eevee for this. Eevee with his little booties. Little boots. Okay. That thing just looks weird. Get it away from me. Okay. Tickle? You're tickling my Eevee? Attack. Okay, good thing we're using special attack. I'm pretty sure Swift is special attack. Like, are you actually gonna, like, fight at some points, or just apply status effects ad nauseum? Well, that worked out pretty well. Oh, good job, Eevee. A Hatenna. And we'll swap to Drizzle. Or Drizzly? Maybe that's what it is, Drizzly. I don't know. Oh dear, what have I been doing? Well, whatever. Let's just get this out of the way. What is that thing? Okay. Confusion? I'd advise against confusing me, but no matter. See, the nice thing about being water type is weak against water type. No, it's... Yeah, it is. Which means even in a confusion state, you'd have like a debuff on your own move if it hit you, which is good. I see. Well, that's fine. I wasn't really trying all that hard anyway. Yeah. Tell it to the judge. Well, that was unexpected. I suppose you're more able than I thought. Naturally, I'll remember your battle style and strategies now. I'm sure to easily defeat you if and when we face each other in an official match. Now that we've established that, I won't waste any more of your time. I've already gathered every wishing star in this area. Okay, well. Good for you, I guess. Anyways, and then on top of that, you got the other layers of pickiness. I think next up you got, you know, people who go through like more extreme measures to avoid food. Then you've got the person who... Oh, you aren't fighting me? Hiya! Me and my big sister have set up ourselves as a pop-up Pokemon Center service. Not that we asked him if we could or should. You've done a good job making it this far. I'll heal your team up for you. Once you get through Galar Mine, you're out on Route 4 and nearly to Turffield. Or Turffield. You almost there, Gym Challenger? Thank you. So we're out of the cave, so we might as well swap back to Eevee being first. And it makes a lot of sense to have a Water-type Pokemon at the lead when you're in a cave, because those are filled with ground and Rock-type Pokemon generally. Oh, well, hello there. Camping with your Pokemon, playing together, cooking together? These are all great ways to become close with your Pokemon. You're welcome to stop by my camp too if you like. Not right now. Was this a farm you got here? I'm doing special training while camping to train my Pokemon. The finishing touch will be a battle with you. Okay. Breeder Jamie. Anyways, then I think that on the hierarchy, so you got, I like it, I'll eat it, I'll look for it, I won't seek it out. If there's reasonable accommodations, I'll try to avoid it. Then next up you've got, if it's the only thing, I guess I'll eat it. And then, I'd rather starve. And now, I'm skeptical as to how many people are legitimately at the I'd rather starve tier. Because I think, when it comes down to it, if you legitimately are going to die from starvation, even the pickiest eater, I think, is going to eat what they have to live. But you get the idea. I mean, you could even maybe break those down further into, you know, I'll skip a meal over it. I will eat it. So I think after, like, I'll make reasonable accommodations to avoid it. Okay, I need to switch Pokemon. This is not working. So then under that, I'd say you have, I'll eat it if it's the only thing there. Under that, it's, I'd rather skip a meal than eat it. And then under that, you have, I'd rather starve. Which, again, I speculate as to whether or not that category even actually exists, but I think it's worth mentioning for, just so we can kind of have our hierarchy of pickiness established. Right. And I will say, I feel like the first thing on that hierarchy of the I won't seek it out, I'm not even necessarily sure if that actually qualifies as pickiness. I think that just qualifies as having taste. And there is a line there. I'm not sure where it is, but at some point in that hierarchy, I think you go from just, I've got my taste and I'd prefer to eat what I like. At some point you cross the line into pickiness, and I'm not sure exactly what level I would consider that to be. Alright, Eevee, please don't hit yourself. Thank you. Man, quit confusing my Eevee! Quick attack you. Oh yeah, Eevee's not confused anymore. Lovely. But yeah, so that's the pickiness discussion. Any thoughts? I'd love to hear them in the comments. Am I complete off base and out of touch? Probably, but we'll see. A C-Dot, we definitely want to keep Eevee for that. Let's use some baby dolls just for fun. Wow, that was bad. Alrighty, level 18 Eevee. Now, I guess this Eevee probably can actually evolve. I have no idea how to evolve an Eevee, though. I'm sure my Pokemon are in top condition. Well. Oh, hello. I thought you were a wild Pokemon. Oh, you're a trainer. What do you think? I look just like a Pikachu, right? I was not expecting a battle. Pokekid Shane. Well, that's surprising. Ooh, let's go. Eevee versus Pikachu. You paralyzed my Eevee. I'll take that. Okay, I mean, you definitely don't want to switch to Drizzle. There we go. Alright. Drizzly, or Drizzly, I don't even know. Pika! Okay. A cleanse tag? An item to be held by a Pokemon. It helps keep wild Pokemon away if the holder is the head of the party. Oh, that could be useful. What the heck was this? What are you? A wild electric? Am I still paralyzed? Dang it. Well, let's just hope the paralysis doesn't take effect, yeah? Great. Come on, Eevee. Fight through the paralysis. Good job, Eevee. Okay. Come on, a quick attack. You can do it. I believe in you. Okay. And there's all sorts of trainers around here. Hi. 50 years of raising Pokemon. Did you come to see the progress of my work? You are not 50 years old. Okay, apparently he's a breeder. It's a good thing I have Eevee, because there's a lot of electric stuff around here. Would not be good for Drizzle, I don't know. If I could shake the paralysis, that'd be great. Okay. Paralyze heal. This is getting annoying. Don't you leer at me. Okay, let's do this properly now, eh? Come on, Eevee. Okay. And a quick attack should save a potion? Really? How is your reaction time on that potion faster than my reaction time at quick attack? Not gonna matter. Okay. A Lotad. That's a water type, yeah? Might as well swap. We've had Eevee out for a while. I'm gonna pound you. It's pretty weak. Oh, you're water grass. Of course. Oh yeah, well get bound. That's not gonna be effective. Pound should finish it. Nicely done. Take that, Bradley. Well, I didn't raise them for 50 years. Well, look, you were bragging about it before. Don't distance yourself from your work now just because it sucks. Alright, we'll maybe take a look at these guys in a bit, but woo, where do you think you're going? Wooloo crashed into you and stopped. Hey! Man, watch where you're going with that thing. My, are you okay? You took that tackle head on. Oh, you must be one of those gym challengers, right? Yes, indeed. Thought so. I saw you at the opening ceremony. My name's Milo. I'm a gym leader and rather partial to grass-type Pokemon. I've been itching to see just how good the champion-endorsed gym challengers are. Let me find out at the gym stadium. Just head on through this route and you'll run right into my stadium. See you there. Come on now, back to the stadium with you two. You can't keep the gym challengers waiting. Yeah, so that's our competition. I look forward to it. Okay, so we definitely do want to probably battle the rest of these guys before we take on the gym, but first, it would be prudent to go to the Pokemon Center. It looks like Hop's gonna talk. Look, just take a look at that, Lizzie. That's Turf Field Stadium down there. Oh, it looks nice. The gym leader just returned too. Milo's his name. But the place is jam-packed with challengers. It'll be ages before our turn comes up. Oh, but Sonia was looking for you, Lizzie. She wanted to ask you about something she tried asking me, but I had no idea. She's up on that, well, that's her face hill. You know the one. What, you don't know the hill? Well, have a look on your map if you're not sure. Hello. Is this your new Pokemon, Hop? Oh, if it isn't Sonia's Yamper. He's a good boy, he'll show you the way. Okay, sure, well, I guess we can follow that creature. But first, we should definitely heal up. Wooloo escaping from Turf Field Stadiums and Miles leisurely chasing after it? Nothing out of the ordinary around here. Maybe it's about time we come up with some sort of souvenir based on the geoglyph? Maybe a geoglyph jam or something. Geoglyphs, eh? All the companies running ads are owned by Mr. Rose. Hello and welcome to the Pokemon Center. Would you like to rest your Pokemon? Thank you, I would very much. Thanks for waiting, Eevee, and the rest of your team should be all better now. We hope to see you again. Well, thank you very much. Now to go see what Sonia's up to.